These are the old and original Dutch streets dating back to the 1600s, when New York City was small and the buildings were just 1 or 2 stories. See how close the buildings are to each other at the top? During the early 1900s, skyscrapers were built straight up into the air. This created the so-called downtown canyons, or cave streets. Even in the middle of summer, there is little to no sunshine in the street. As the skyscrapers went up, people worried that there wouldn't be sunshine or fresh air on the streets and sidewalks. This is the 38-story Equitable Building. It was this building that triggered America's first zoning law for skyscrapers in 1913. In 1915, when it was built, it cast a shadow of more than 17 acres. This triggered the setback law, which was passed a year later in 1916. The setback law stated that as the skyscraper rose, certain stories had to be stepped back from the street. Only 25% of the building's footprint could go to full height. So, buildings went up like wedding cakes, big at the bottom and smaller at the top. Other buildings that step back are the famous Empire State Building, Chrysler Building, and many others that make New York a kind of skyscraper national park. The setback law also created many tall, narrow skyscrapers in Lower Manhattan, like the City Services Building on Pine Street here. In 1961, the law was changed to allow slab-faced towers as long as they had public plazas, for example, the Chase Plaza Building. This law created many open spaces and a place for some great works of art you can see around Manhattan. In 1970, the setback zoning law modified yet again. It required the seats and benches to be installed around the buildings, creating public spaces. That law created many indoor parks and plazas, like the Deutsche Bank Atrium and the Winter Garden at the World Financial Center. While you're in Manhattan, consider visiting the small but fascinating skyscraper museum at 39 Battery Place at the southern tip of the island.